And I'm just going to create a new text box here. So notice I'm going to use those guidelines to sort of make sure my text box is in line with everything. And I'm just going to fill this in with some dummy text. So let's get some hipster ipsum. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. I don't know why it went over there. Okay, so there's some hipster ipsum. So what I can do is, if I have this text box selected, and I go to paragraph styles, right now it's just formatted as a basic paragraph, which means no styling is really added to it. So we've created these styles already, so if I go ahead and click on first paragraph, you can see it automatically styles itself. It changes. Right, so it keeps the default font that was already on it. You can change that to whatever you like, but notice that drop caps, the full caps for the first line, all of that has been added in for you. So it's a really quick way to format your text. We've also got other paragraph styles here. So let me just bring in some more text. So say this is our text for some other new paragraph here, but it's not the first paragraph in my article. Well, then I've got this other paragraph style, so it just formats it correctly. So all this really did here was change the hyphenation, so it actually fills up the whole column there. So that's how we use paragraph styles. These are the ones we set up. You can make your own as well. There are some great tutorials on Digital Tutors or Lynda that actually walk you through that. So we've also got things like paragraph styles for reference lists. And of course, this isn't a reference list, so it doesn't look like much. Okay, so that's essentially how we use those. Now, what we've also got set up are a bunch of different character styles. So these are all character styles that are set up. So this is, maybe you may not have a full chunk of text, maybe you have a subtitle or a block quote. So the character styles are found here. These are all the ones that we've made. So of course this works for anything. If you have an author, so let's just say, I don't know, again, if you select the author, character style, it updates that text already. If this was a page header, okay, it changes it. If it's a quote, subheader, okay, and so on and so on. So these are styles we worked out for the last issue, and they work out pretty well. So you are welcome to change these, but it was nice to sort of keep these consistent from issue to issue. Yeah, and this will actually, if you make use of these, it'll make your workflow go a lot quicker. That way you can easily just copy and paste text in, and then go click, click, click on whatever you need, and things are updated very, very quickly. Okay, so that's essentially how we deal with text, and that's we talked about the Pages pane already. The only other sort of tab you'll really be using a lot in InDesign is the links, and this has to do. This is sort of the bad thing about InDesign. You have to update the path to different assets, including fonts and images. So to put images in, you can use the frames. So I'm going to make a little frame here. Okay, and I'm just going to grab that image I had. So say you're even just dragging and dropping things in, okay, like that. It's a really poorly formatted image. So there's a couple of ways to deal with images. So your image exists inside of a frame. So if you change the size of your frame, you can see that doesn't actually change the size of the image. It works almost like a little mask. Okay. But if you right-click on it, on the frame itself, you can go down to fitting, and you have a few options here. So you can fill frame proportionally, okay, which will just sort of maximize the length of the width. Fit content proportionally, so that scales everything down so it fits inside your frame. And so on. There's a lot of other things. So if you want to get rid of something, you can just clear it, or you can just change the size of the frame so it's the size of the content. Okay, sometimes that's the easiest thing to do, best way to work with it. But I'll show you as well. So once you have an image in, if you look over in the links tab, that gets updated. So it actually shows the path to your image. So if you can notice down here, if I go to path, this is an absolute link. So right now it is linked to the file on my particular hard drive, which is not great for collaborative projects like this. So if I go and I move that file on my desktop, and I put that somewhere else, I won't put it on the shared folder here, but let's just say I move this. I'll put this into my Google Drive here. So I've now moved that file. If I go back into InDesign, you can see I get a little warning comes up. So down here at the very bottom I get an error. Okay. It tells me that I've got a missing link. So I'm actually missing that file. So it's looking for it still in the same place where I originally had it when I brought it into the file. So what I'm actually going to have to do is update this link. So there's a little icon here. It looks like a broken link. So it lets you relink files. If you have a lot of files you have to relink, you can option click on it and just point to one location. So that's why we want to keep everything in that assets folder. So once we've finished all our own pages, we can just dump all our images into the assets folder and you can relink just at once. So to do that, I just have to choose the actual pathway, and you can see that error disappears. Alright, so that's one thing you want to be careful with, because notice that image didn't disappear even though the link was missing. The preview will still show it's there, but if you go to actually send it to print, you're going to get nothing is going to show up there. You're going to have a big blank spot. So always double check that you have no errors when you're finished, and always make sure that things are linked correctly. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over with the new team. So please make use of these template files. I think they'll make your life a lot easier. Use the character and paragraph styles. Okay, those will make your life easier. And sort of use the folder structure that we came up with. In the shared folder. Okay, so again, keep all your assets in one place. Keep all your images in here. So this makes relinking things really easy. Try to use these fonts. These are fonts that we've used again and again throughout different issues just for consistency. But again, if you want to be creative, you can play around with things like the title, or you've got sort of a fun page that sort of stands out. By all means, you don't have to use these fonts. Okay, so if you do have any questions, feel free to contact any of the senior team. We're happy to help you out.